Expressions, a virtual curriculum for children in grades 4 through 6. In this lesson, you will learn the different parts of an expression, how to write, solve, and understand expressions. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to name the parts of an expression, write an expression, and apply substitution to solve expressions. So let's break it down. First, we're going to learn how to understand expressions. We're going to learn how to properly identify expressions and the parts of it. Second, we're going to learn how to construct and solve expressions using substitution. Finally, we're going to practice, review, play games, and see what you can remember. Understanding expressions. When identifying expressions, it can be quite difficult to distinguish between an expression and an equation. In this picture, we can see an expression. Notice how it doesn't have an equal sign like this one? This is an expression. An expression does not have an equal sign. This that you see here is an equation. Equations have equal signs and is not an expression. Parts of an expressions. Expressions include several different parts, and the first one is terms. Terms are the different segments or parts of the expression. You see how this expression is broken down in 3 parts, separated by the plus and minus sign? The terms in this expression is 5a, 6, and y. Factors. Factors are the different parts of a term that is being multiplied. Back to our original expression, 5a. As you might already know, when a number is directly next to a variable, that means that they're being multiplied, so that can be transcribed as 5 times a. Factors are the numbers that are being multiplied. So in this problem, the factors are 5 and a. Finally, coefficients. Just as we were using earlier, 5a. We can use that example because the coefficient is the number that is being multiplied by the variable. In this case, 5 would be the coefficient because it is being multiplied by the variable. Stop. Before you continue, get a piece of paper to match each picture with its definition. Coefficient. Just as we had discussed earlier, a coefficient is a number that is being multiplied by a variable. In this problem, you see that I've highlighted the 7, which is being multiplied by variable g, which makes it the coefficient. Next, factor. As I said earlier, factors are the numbers that are being multiplied. In this problem, 1,000 is being multiplied by f, which makes 1,000 and f factors. Expression and equation. It might be a little hard to distinguish between the two, but the main deal breaker is the equal sign. As you can see from this answer, for an expression does not include an equal sign like an equation does. An equation includes an equal sign and an answer. Finally, terms. Terms are the segments of an expression that are being separated by the plus minus sign that is in the problem. We can see that the terms of this problem is 7y, 3, and 2c. Writing and solving expressions. When writing an expression, you are quite literally writing down the numeric version of a written expression and vice versa. When looking at an expression, you must pay attention to some key words. So we can see the product of 5 and a added to 24. The word product, what does that tell you? As you may already know, the word product indicates that you will be multiplying in the expression. And the other keyword, added to, that tells you that we will also be using the addition sign when writing this expression. We also have to pay attention to words like to. We can see that added to is said after 5a. The product of 5 and a added to 24. That tells you that 5 and a will be after 24, which gives us the answer of 24 plus 5a. Now, we will be writing a written expression for this expression that we see here. So, before I solve this, I would like you to say to yourself, what keywords do you think that we'll be using? we will be using add and subtract. We can see that 26 and a is being added. When adding two numbers, the answer for it is called the sum. So we would say the sum of 26 and a. But we see that 27 is subtracted from this. So the answer would be 27 subtracted from the sum of 26 and a. Solving expressions. Sokka is keeping track of the amount of meat he eats in a week. He receives 10 drumsticks from King Bumi each day for 6 days. King Bumi wants to surprise Sokka with the amount of meat he would receive on Sunday. So from this, we have to pay attention once again to those key words. Sokka received 10 drumsticks from King Bumi each day for 6 days. What does that tell you? That will result in 10 times 6, which will tell you how many drumsticks that Sokka got in 6 days. And King Bumi wanted to surprise Sokka with the amount of meat he would receive on Sunday, so that would leave us with a variable, resulting in the expression of 10 times 6 plus f. Now, on Sunday, King Bumi surprises Sokka with 500 drumsticks. How many drumsticks has Sokka eaten this week? Now, this f is no longer a variable. We know that on Sunday, King Bumi gave Sokka 500 drumsticks. So now we will be using substitution to solve this. Substitution is a replacement of a variable with a given value. In this, you can see that we have replaced the f with 500, and after using the process of PEMDAS, 10 times 6 is 60 plus 500, which gives us the answer of 560, meaning that Sokka has ate 560 drumsticks this week. Review. Read this word problem, write the expression, and then solve it. Let's read this problem. Alex has C rockets and D launch pads. Mikey has 4 fewer rockets than Alex, but twice as many launch pads. Write an expression for all Mikey's materials. Just as I told you earlier, you must pay attention to keywords that are given to you in this word problem. I already gave you a hint as to which keywords to pay attention to, but we can see fewer. What does fewer tell you? Fewer indicates that we will be using the subtraction sign when writing this expression. We can see that Mikey has twice as many launch pads, which also indicates that we will be using multiplication, more specifically multiplying the number 2. This would eventually give us the expression of C minus 4 plus 2D. Why? We can see in this problem, we are trying to write an expression for all Mikey's materials. So Mikey has 4 fewer rockets than Alex, and Alex has C rockets. So C minus 4 equals the amount of rockets that Mikey has. And the second part of this problem is that Mikey has twice as many launch pads as Alex. Alex has D launch pads, so the amount of launch pads that Mikey will have is 2 times D. Now for the second part of the problem. If Alex has 6 rockets and 7 launch pads, how much stuff does Mikey have in all? Now we know how many rockets that Alex has. So we can substitute this 6 for the C in the expression, and we can substitute the 7 for the D in the expression. After using the process of PEMDAS, we eventually moved to 2 plus 14, which gives us the final answer of 16. Practice makes perfect. Read the following problems and answer them with the corresponding numeric or written answer. Have you done it? Remember, as I said, when solving expressions, you must pay attention to some keywords. In this, we see 5 times the sum of A and 7. Times tells us that we will be multiplying, and the sum tells us that we will be using the plus sign. So that gives us the answer of 5a plus 7. 5 times the value of a plus 7. Next, we have this one. What do you see? Similar to what we see in the last question, we see that the 2 is outside the 9 and the f, which tells us that this will be 2 times the sum of 9 and f. 2 times the sum of 9 and f is added to the 15, which gives us the answer of twice the sum of 9 and f added to 15. Next, we have this one. This one is pretty simple, as it is only multiplying 15 by a. So this will be the product of 15 and a. Finally, we have this challenge problem. The quotient of 8 and twice the sum of 2 and 3. From this problem, we must pay attention to the word quotient, twice, and sum. For the first part of the question, we see the quotient of 8. So we know that problem will be dividing 8 and another number, and then twice the sum of 2 and 3. Similar to these two problems, it will be looking like that. Instead of the 5 here, it will be a 2, and the sum of 2 and 3. So it'll be 8 divided by 2 times 2 plus 3. Want to do more? I've linked some extra games and activities that can help you become a master of expressions. If you're still confused, here are some sources that I used to make this presentation. About the author. Hi, my name is Hannah Laura, and I taught this lesson today. Well, thanks. Thanks for listening to my presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me at this email. If you need help with another subject, feel free to visit internsforgood.org, where volunteers are ready, willing, and able to help. Bye.